This is Ed Hitchens for Energeticcity.ca. This is the Community Roundup brought to you by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. We're joined here by museum curator Heather Sjoblom, who we're in the Museum of the North Peace. Lots of history, lots of artifacts going on here in this place. We want to thank Heather for the time. First things first, could you just give us a brief history of the museum and what services are here?
Sure. So the museum is run by the North Peace Historical Society, and they just celebrated 60 years last year. And then this past February, we celebrated 40 years of being in this building here in Fort St. John. We had previous museums both in town and at Taylor. And so the museum here covers the history of Fort St. John, from the dinosaurs to the first people, through the fur trade and the development of our community, and right up to the present in many cases. So we have several historic buildings outside that volunteers are busy cleaning today. And once temperatures are above zero, then we'll put out all our textiles, so all our fabrics and so on. And they'll be open again for the summer, probably in a week or two, depending how the weather goes. And then we collect everything that's relates to the history of the North Peace, not just Fort St. John. We have an acquisition committee who decides on items that community members choose to donate. And then we put them in exhibits, or we store them long term because we only have so much room to display stuff. We also have a huge archives with thousands of photographs, lots of documents, a great place for doing research projects on the history of this area.
Okay, and you recently had a giveaway featuring bat kits. 200 bat kits were distributed, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I thought that was pretty cool and very neat because of the fact that growing up in Toronto, the Room Ontario Museum, there was a bat cave that we could go in and interact with a replica of a bat cave. So tell me what was the feedback like from the community, and tell me how that came about.
It was great. We've done these take-home kits for a few years. They really started in the pandemic, and now it's a great way to kind of share history, but have kids do a larger project outside of the museum with their parents or so on. And so this was a great partnership with the Charlie Lake Conservation Society. It's been in our strategic plan to do more natural history, and so they helped write the fun fact sheet for the kit. And then there were a couple of crafts in the kits, and we got tons of positive feedback from all sorts of people about how much the crafts were enjoyed, and hopefully people learned a bit more about bats. So we gave away, almost just over 150 kits, and then the rest are going to a school and a daycare who contacted us. Yeah.
That's neat.
So we're really grateful to UpScan for sponsoring these kits and making them free.
Okay, and you just touched on it just now. You continue your natural history partnership with the Charlie Lake Conservation Society. Two-part question: how did that come about, and what things do you have offered with the Charlie Lake Conservation Society?
So we started working a lot with the Charlie Lake Conservation Society about a year and a half ago. They did a special temporary exhibit for us last summer called The Lake Next Door, which was all about the natural history of Charlie Lake. So they made a really interactive exhibit, and coming out of that, they did a few presentations here last summer, and one of the presentations was with the Fort St. John Public Library on bats, and we had adults sneak into that presentation with no kids, so we said, we really need to do a presentation on bats for adults. So that's coming up on May 23rd at 7 at the museum. So it's admissions free, donations are welcome, and a great chance for adults or teenagers, so on, to learn about bats. We're also doing another partnership with both the library and the Charlie Lake Conservation Society coming up on Saturday, May 4th from 2 to 3, and that's all about frogs. So Glynis from the Charlie Lake Conservation Society will be talking about some local frogs and some fun frog facts, and then there'll be crafts that the library is doing, and we're doing a scavenger hunt around the museum for kids to try and find different frogs hiding in our exhibit. Fake frogs, not real frogs.
So you won't be ribbiting and moving around. Okay.
That would be challenging.
That would be challenging. I'm pretty sure that would be challenging. Can you tell me a little bit more about other projects you have working on it
Yeah,
as
so
you go forward in 2024?
there's one more project with the Charlie Lake Conservation Society, and that is on May 14th. They're coming to talk about birds at 7 p.m. So both birds that live here year-round, as well as the birds that are returning. So we timed their presentations with birds and bats and frogs to kind of talk about these creatures as they are coming out again. And then this summer we have a new cemetery tour that we're launching. So this is going to be our Women of Woodlawn cemetery tour featuring 11 women. And our cemetery tours aren't scary. They tell humorous stories and a lot of information, sometimes sad stories about these people while we stand by their graves. So we're doing Women of Woodlawn that launches on May 30th and then repeats on July 30th. And we're also bringing back our Taylor Cemetery tour on August 7th.
Okay, all right. Anybody who wants to know any more information about the museum, where can they find that?
Sure, you can go to our website, www.fsjmuseum.com, or you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram, or you can stop by the museum.
Okay, all right. Once again, Heather, thank you very much for the time. This has been Ed Hitchens with the Community Roundup for Energeticcity.ca. Once again, the Community Roundup is brought to you by Brad's Furniture and Appliances.